Okay, I guess so. For advancing out of your pod, you have to make it to week 16 to get paid, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's like, I mean, it's like 250, like off of $5 if you make it, and then I mean, first is like 25,000.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd take that off $5.
Yeah, I think. Hold on. Occupy best ball.
Yeah, I need to get that tweeted out.
I need to make sure it's not trying to connect to the old one. Brian set this. Oh, we're live right now.
Maybe so.
All right, we are live, fellas. How we doing? Sorry about that. YouTube is not telling me we're live, but I'm watching us live on YouTube. So, how we doing? Thanks for joining us. Chuck and Derek here on the new Occupy Best Ball channel. It's Wednesday, July 31st. 37 days until the NFL season starts. Derek, how we doing?
Yeah, good man. Yeah, it snuck up on us, I guess, but yeah, good to be back on here with you. Seems like this midweek is when new contests drop all over the place, and um, I mean it's a. I feel like we're spreading ourselves a little thin, but it's a good problem to have, like because I mean even a little over a month from now, like we're gonna be in the real thing, so we're gonna miss this when it's gone, you know.
Right. I've been thinking that like I wish I got more early drafts in to take advantage of some of the guys I'm in on. Their ADPs have risen. And it's like I've been thinking that every week for the past few weeks, and it's like I could still get those guys today. I still think they're going to rise next week. So
Right.
it's not too early to draft. It's not too late to draft. It's perfect time, July 31st. Tomorrow's August. So hopefully more casual players come in. Brian and I mentioned yesterday we've seen less badges in our rooms recently.
Right. Yeah. Well, we were talking about um, the that $5 underdog single entry. I drafted that. Let's see, maybe Sunday. There was one badge in there. So
Yeah, that's the
I
best,
mean,
dude.
yeah, it's definitely coming.
Well, if we have anyone in the chat and they want to join us, I'm going to try to redeem myself from yesterday's Best Ball Mania disaster that I drafted with Brian. Like I put my notes in the Discord. I don't know if anyone reads them, but it helps me out either way. But like I drafted a lot of good players I like, but I don't think I put together a good team.
Yeah. Uh, I was looking back at it when you were talking when you were kind of down on yourself. And I mean it's not that bad.
It just I have to if I hit a quarterback and I hit on tight end, I'm good. But
Yeah.
I think I punted both positions, which
Mm.
a lot of drafts you're going to end up naturally punting one position, but punting quarterback and tight end is just like I don't have a standout group at running back or wide receiver to super make up for it. So just kind of
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it just it depends so much on where you start your draft position, but then also the decisions that everybody else makes. Like, um, I mean, you have to, especially with those quick ones, you have to adapt pretty quickly, or things just get off the rails. And there's really, I mean, you can't really get it back.
Then that's the thing. Like I think it's okay to you know punt those positions, but if I don't know, you get sniped or you just brick out at the end and it's just a
Hmm.
disaster. So it hasn't
Right.
happened to me too much. Like that's definitely the first time that I can remember that happening in a while. So it's not common, but it
Yeah.
sucks when it's one of the BBMs that I'm doing on stream.
Right. Yeah. As long as you can limit the amount of times it happens, you know,
Well, we did pull the 12th pick. I feel like yeah, the universe must have got confused, thought it was you
yeah.
entering this contest.
I know. That's just I brought bad energy on here.
We did only get two other badges in the room though, so that's pretty insane. This might be actually the
Yeah,
least amount of badges I've had in a BBM.
yeah. BBM with that few is that's pretty insane.
So I was thinking about this earlier. in poker, the softest tournament of the year is a $10,000 buy-in main event in Vegas. First place 10 million, and it just for some reason that's like the softest field. If you're a good player, you're going to do well in this field. And I was wondering if that translates to best ball at all. Like, is BBM the softest field or is it one of the tougher fields?
Right. I mean, it's definitely a balance of the two because you do, of course, have super sharp guys who have 150, but you also probably have a extremely large portion of people who they throw in 5 to 10 over the course of the last 3 months and they have no idea what they're doing, and that's just because they're chasing that prize pool, So um, I definitely think it's probably more even than we think it is.
It's not a bad way to look at it. Yeah. It's like the best players are going to be in this contest, but no, like you said, it probably also has the highest amount of players that don't put the time in like we do to,
Yeah,
study the strategy, I guess.
yeah.
So I went with Jameer Gibbs here. Didn't really think about that pick, just kind of picked him. Um, Explain what these numbers are in a second. I'm going to take them off the screen, actually. It's a little bit, don't like it being a little bit confusing for the stream. Do you have a guy you love here?
Now, well, I was going to ask you who Detroit's matchups are, but they
San
do play.
Francisco.
I was about to say that. I know they play San Francisco. Yeah, I'd probably just go Debo.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And this is something I've talked about where if you have these late round picks, like the quote unquote best combos going by projections and ADP are going to be so overowned that you can do things like Jameer Gibbs is going 12 and then pair him up with Debo, and just such a low percentage of the field is doing that, and it's not that relevant until you get to the finals. But if you do get to the finals and you're doing something like this on a lot of teams, then you're gonna have some leverage over the field at least. I'm not saying it's going to work out where Debo's going to outscore Harrison or whoever else would go here, but it just, if I'm the only person with Jameer, Debo, and 4 people have Harrison, Gibbs,
Right.
then I'm going to feel good about my spot.
Yeah, and I mean you can really say that about anyone in the first round because there's like that if everybody falls in that natural ADP order, like a lot of those guys just kind of have like their natural pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times I have seen the guy with the first pick start CMC Mike Evans. Like
Yeah.
it's almost every draft, no matter who it is. Like it just Mike Evans always ends up being that 24th spot, and it's just like just take anybody else. Like nothing against Mike Evans, it's just do anything different than that, and you're probably going to start a little bit different.
No, exactly. And the same thing applies, like with what I was just saying about the 12, 13 spot on this side of the board. When you're on this side of the board, you have 2 picks in a row. You can do a lot of things. Reach by 6 picks, and you'd be shocked at
Yeah,
the ownership difference versus the guy 1 pick or 2 picks away.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm going to look it up right now because off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure Christian McCaffrey's top pair is Mike Evans. Yeah, 40% of the teams that I've oh wait, that's me. 40% of my McCaffrey teams have Mike Evans, 35% have Devonta Smith, which is a huge percent for both of those guys. But let me see what the field is doing. I'm pretty sure it's similar. And I mean, would you say Mike Evans is usually probably the best pick at that
Yeah.
spot?
Well, it didn't work this time. He went a little too soon, but yeah, he probably in most cases he's going to be by your rankings or by ADP, however you're sorting, he's probably going to be the number one guy on your list when you get back to that spot. But
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and so on the drafts I've done on Underdog with BBM rankings, like puppies, Pomeranians, Chihuahuas, whatever. Mike Evans is on 28% of CMC teams, which is the highest pair of any player in the whole draft.
okay.
Just for CMC, like no one else, even with a later ADP, not even Brock Purdy, is being paired with CMC more than Mike Evans, and then DK Metcalf is second at 22%. Devonta Smith is 21%. So those 3, if you pick anyone but those 3, or you can pick one of them and then
Yeah.
reach for someone like DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, guys that are not getting drafted with CMC.
Yeah, right. And you have um, at least one playoff option that's right there, which is the Rams, and you're
Mm-hmm.
in a range where you could reach for either Kyron or Cup. and or you could take them both. You could go CMC, Kyron, and Cup in week 15. Game stack is right there, So um, that's funny though that CMC Mike Evans was my example, and it was like,
No, and like on that Cooper Cup and Kyron thing, like that's even less of a reach than DJ Moore, Tank Dell, the other guys I just said. And Cooper
uh
Cup's on 6% of CMC teams. Kyron's only on 4, which makes sense because he's a running back. But I have been mixing in more two running back in the first 3
yeah,
rounds starts after not doing it at all for like the first 500 drafts.
mhm,
But yeah, like Cooper Cup. 6% versus 28% Mike Evans. Like, is Cooper Cup 4-1 or 5-1 to outscore Mike Evans in any given playoff week? Absolutely not.
right, yeah,
Even during for the season too, is Cooper Cup or is Mike Evans 5-1 to outscore to be a better best ball pick than Cooper Cup? No, it's
right,
not close. This is just free. So I refreshed and took away all the numbers because I think it's confusing. This is how much I have in BBM ranking drafts, so puppies, chihuahuas, whatever,
okay,
playoff games, and then this is how many game stacks this player has with guys already on my team.
okay,
So
that's cool.
less info there. So Tank Dell, you saw I had 19%. It's like an auto pick when he falls to me at 36. What do you like doing here? Got one running back, two receivers. Would you look at Josh Allen or like receiver Amari Cooper, Isaiah Pacheco?
I would probably go Allen just because it's I've been finding myself taking him a lot right here. I mean, he's not really sliding. He's right at ADP, but if he comes to me in this range, it's so easy to then just turn around and grab anyone you want with him. A lot of the times you can still get Kincaid. You're going to have an opportunity to get Samuel, Shakir, Coleman. Like it is. It's weird because you think a lot of the time you're drafting the position player, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're like you're waiting 7 rounds to like line up when you're trying to get the quarterback. Here it's the opposite. Like you have so many stacking options with him later on. You just lock him in and then go from there. So and you already have a pretty strong start from being where you're at.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, like the first 500 drafts, I was so hard on about 3 receivers in the first 3 rounds, maybe 4 rounds. But now I'm letting myself do more things like this where I only have 2 receivers through 4 rounds. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know there's 2 receivers I'm going to like taking at 60 and 61. If there are, then I'm going to do that. But so I am going to feel a little behind at receiver, I think, but I really like locking up Josh Allen. He's falling. I don't know if he's going to start climbing when more casual players come in. What do you think?
Yeah, I would think so. I think I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking that about Lamar the other day too. Like that, I think that's going to be one of those things. Is like, why is Lamar going behind Hurts and Allen? Like,
Yeah.
you just have that perception of like, and you're probably going to see him climb like 4 or 5 spots.
And I think he should. I wonder how much of that is that he missed games because of injury.
Hmm.
But what if he doesn't?
Right. Yeah.
It's probably the QB2, if not
Yeah.
QB1.
Right. So just notice the guy in the 9 spot got the 3 Eagles already.
I have an interesting one. I meant to bring it up before I started the draft on stream, but I have 50 minutes left in this weekly winners draft, and I have a pretty interesting decision here. So just AJ Brown, Marvin. This is weekly winners: Marvin Harrison, AJ Brown, Travis Kelsey. Would you take
Mm.
Mahomes or Jalen Hurts here?
Wow. Is there any playoff correlation that helps break a tie?
It's weekly winners,
Oh,
and
right.
so
You said
the
that.
only correlation would be like number of game stacks with
Yeah.
maybe Marvin Harrison, but neither of them play the Cardinals this year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would probably go Hurts, but I don't really think you can go wrong there.
And I'm leaning towards Mahomes, but I don't know if the thinking is correct. Like, how does Hurts get there? 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing to AJ Brown.
I mean,
Mahomes, like 2 touchdowns to Kelsey.
Mahomes definitely has the higher ceiling of being able to throw 3 touchdowns to Kelsey.
Yeah, yeah, and like both these quarterbacks are 50% owned with both of these guys, so there's no edge there, and then super low owned with the other one. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought this was an interesting spot though, because it's like my first instinct was definitely Hurts, but then thinking about the game theory aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
interested in taking Mahomes. If anyone watching has an opinion on that, love to hear
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Throw it in the chat.
Or if you have anything else you want to talk about, anything out of training camp, draft ideas, we're here for you guys. Someone did mention they'd like to see us do a weekly winners draft, and
Yeah,
that's the format I've been studying the most. So I'm going to try to get one of those in this week, I think, if I
yeah.
can. Going out of town again on Sunday, so I'll try to squeeze that in before I leave.
Okay. Yeah, and we also, I guess we need to talk about the fact that we have a football game tomorrow, right?
We do, and it's a. I don't think they threw up any kind of drafts for this one, did they? Underdog.
I didn't look. That's a good
Yeah,
thought.
I didn't look either.
I'll look into.
It'd be so difficult to do it for something like this. Like they usually don't do it for like preseason NBA, right? I don't know if they
Yeah,
would for NFL. I was really hoping Rashi Rice was going to make it to me here. Would have been an absolute auto click. Yeah, he's into the 5th round. Never see him go to the 6th round anymore. So I hope you guys packed your bags if you like Rashi Rice not getting suspended.
right.
Gonna take Jaden Reed here.
Nice.
Like I said, I wanted to take a 4th receiver, but I don't love any of these guys. Maybe Christian.
You're pretty much out on Worthy at cost with how much you're on Rice, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like if he falls a bit, I will take him. Like I have 6%, so I don't have 0, but I wonder if I could have taken someone other than Debo. I'm gonna take George Kittle. Don't mind double stacking stamp. The best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Wonder. So that's something you could plan for. If you're trying to set up that stack with
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With
Detroit and San Francisco, just wait to get Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm still okay taking Debo here.
And you can kind of however it works out, you can look at getting Goff or Purdy as your second QB. So
Yeah, I think I might look at doing. I mean, Purdy makes more sense because I have 2 San Francisco players, but I don't know that I like paying that much for my second quarterback
mm-hmm.
since I have Josh Allen.
Yeah, Purdy
So
goes high.
yeah, ADP 111. Did you see he was like, it's like 26th on that NFL's top 100 players list? First time he's cracked the top 100.
No, I didn't.
I
That's
love it. It seems high. I love
that
it
is a
though.
bit high. Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
So it's like I pick it picks 108 and 109. Brock Purdy goes 111, I think.
Yeah.
I can't take him at 108. If he falls to 130, then yeah, he's a slam dunk pick, but he's not going to. And
Right.
so I'm okay having the double stack without the quarterback, though. I
Yeah.
have Josh Allen anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Right. You can pretty much pair him with anyone. So
Yeah, I'll probably end up punting the second QB spot with like a Bo Nix or I'm seeing a lot of positive news about JJ McCarthy in camp.
mm-hmm.
Saw one really, really bad pass, but then I saw a few really good passes. So I'm going to choose to look at the good passes.
Yeah, I've been drafting so many just like zero QB. I mean, some teams that are just disgusting, but it's so easy to just load up everywhere, and you're getting. You can even take three, like take some form of like take three of Levis, McCarthy, Baker, Bo Nix. If you want to do Brissett or May, I mean, like you can even Bryce Young, like you can take like any of the three of them, and like the odds are that one of them is not going to kill you each week are pretty high, and it just some of the teams I've been drafting are just like the skill positions are just completely loaded, and it's definitely been something I've been almost doing on purpose recently.
I don't know that I necessarily do it on purpose, but I tend to draft the same way. I just quarterback is the position I usually care about the least.
Yeah.
And so, same, like my positions are usually pretty stacked. Less so recently because I'm like just adjusting some things. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way you win. If you hit on one of the late quarterbacks, then it's just such a leg up on everyone.
Hmm.
And you mentioned Bryce Young. And like my argument for drafting Bryce Young is we're pretty confident he's going to start in the playoff weeks if he's not injured.
Right.
There's nothing that can happen where he's going to get benched. He was the worst quarterback of all time last season, and
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere.
Right.
Shout out to Bryce Young. No offense, dude.
Yeah. And he should have a little bit better cast around him. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can't get worse, really. So, famous last words.
Famous last words. So I could do something interesting here. James Conner is my favorite running back pick overall. Definitely taking
Yeah.
him 100% of the time here. Maybe like 90%, not every time. But now it's like, do I lock up Curtis Samuel? His ADP is up, dude. He was at like 105 a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
And so I think he's a wide receiver one. I think Khalil
Yeah.
Shakir is pretty good too. Probably can get him at the next round if
You
I want to
could.
grab.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Curtis Samuel.
If you had a strong lean on one of those running backs, I would probably take your favorite running back and then take Shakir, but Samuel's fine too. So
It's like I don't have a strong lean on any one of these guys. Do you?
no, that's that messy range.
Yeah.
Like I like the next, like if you're separating them into two tiers of like of Burrow there being the line, I like the next group way better than
Oh.
the group ahead of Burrow. Like I've been taking a lot of Mostert and Moss. So yeah, but I'm not. I just the Najee, Jalen Warren, like that's been disgusting for years, and like I just find myself wanting no part of either side of that.
Well, as you can see, I have about 13, 14% of both of the Pittsburgh running backs, and that's
Yeah,
something that I've looked at my exposures. Like, is this where I want to be? I
yeah,
don't mind being even on them. I don't know that I want to be that far over the field on both, though.
yeah.
A lot of DeAndre Swift in this range too. 10%
Hmm.
Jonathan Brooks, 8% Raheem Mostert. Like, I'm pretty even on these guys. I want to like fade Zach Moss for about the next week and see if his ADP dips a bunch because Chase Brown was actually one of the biggest risers in ADP. 8 spots from 124 to 116 off of like two
Well,
training camp reports is pretty huge.
yeah, and there's even higher for we were just talking about um, Estemi the last
Mhm.
time. He's got
Yeah.
he just keeps getting talked up, but I think Chris share something about him earlier about him like yards after
Yeah.
contact or something like
Yeah, they were like running some like dummy defense drill, and he just trucked one of like the linebackers or something.
mhm.
I don't know what the drill is, so maybe it was unnecessary. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big boy.
Right.
So looks pretty strong. J.K. Dobbins being up to 165 at like. So I meant to ask this to Brian yesterday. I forgot, but like, and I'm gonna throw Nick Chubb in this category too. It looks like Nick Chubb isn't one of the top risers this week, so his ADP is kind of stabilizing. He's up to 126.
Yeah.
At what point, assuming you're in on these guys, let me know if you're not. But at what point do you think that you're gonna stop considering them to be values? Like, where should their ADPs end up? Where you're like, okay, now they're just guys at ADP.
Yeah, Chubb is a good example because it's hard now, right? You took him forever at like 140,
Yeah.
and now he's 126. I started thinking about that the other day with him. I'm still taking him now, like because I still think he probably should be in like that range we were just looking at, like
Hmm.
so maybe around if he gets up to like 100, maybe you start scaling it back. Maybe take some forward at that point, because if they keep getting further apart. Um, but yeah, it's it's weird when you get those guys at the beginning of the season when everybody's down on them and then they just start skyrocketing.
Yeah, and I guess I only have 3% Nick Chubb here. I have like 14% over on one of the other sites, which I'm probably going to stop drafting him because his ADP came up. I already got my bag. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd to me that Jerome Ford's not falling as much yet. Like they did just finally flip. This just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I would think Jerome Ford would fall a little bit more here. There's another guy. Oh, we're way past ADP on him. But Joe Mixon, he's not been playing, and he has something with his hamstring, which is
Yeah,
I understand to be a big deal,
yeah,
just based on news I've read over the last couple seasons. But he's not falling in ADP either. I feel like he should probably be falling.
yeah.
I don't know that we're drafting another Houston running back, but
Well, that's what I was about to ask. Is that Damian Pierce? Is that still number two there?
yeah, Pierce, and then the other
Based
guy
on
I've
three.
seen, Jahar Jordan. I've
Okay.
seen get hyped by a couple Twitter guys, but I don't know. Maybe Damian Pierce was dealing with an injury last season. I saw someone allude to that. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's true or not.
Yeah, because I mean, a couple
Um,
years ago, he was. I mean, he was going early.
he was very stud like. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, 2 years ago, I think actually he went super late, and then we got news around now, like the beginning of August, that he
Yeah, that
was
he was going to be the guy.
prepped,
Yeah.
and then he jumped up pretty hard. And then last year, I think he went dead zone, and we all faded him.
Hmm.
Good candidate. Well, I think Occupy kind of agrees. Zamir White is that
Yeah.
dead zone candidate to not be good this year. I'd love to take Shakir here, but I don't love double stacking Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So what I could have done is I could have taken like any one of these running backs instead of Curtis Samuel, gotten
Right.
Shakir.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I like both. Do I think that Shakir is 20 picks worse than Curtis Samuel? Probably not.
Right.
Dontavion Wicks, 110. He's moving up, man.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember we did one of these not that long ago, and he was going like 127.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought that was a pretty big jump from where he was going before. Just a few
Mhm.
people on Twitter hyping him up, but like I don't know, someone convinced me he's Devontae Adams. Said this to Brian yesterday, so
There
I'm in. Yeah, I'm clicking on him
you
now.
go. What about we this discussion was happening in Discord. Um, I think you were involved. The drafting an Aaron Rodgers Devontae Adams stack on the off chance that he is traded to the Jets.
It's just if it like I mentioned. So Jets asked. I have six. I have six out of the 900 drafts I did. I went through all the formats and sites because I was curious.
Yeah.
And it just happened by accident or coincidence. I never planned for it because the thing that I'm wondering is what is actually the benefit of getting that right? And then maybe there's like a slight benefit. And
Mhm.
if there's not really a negative, if it doesn't happen, like you plan for
Right.
this Devontae Adams and then you have a jet stack with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
As long as it's not Garrett Wilson in that jet stack, like
Yeah.
if Devontae gets traded, it's good. If he doesn't get traded, then it's fine. You're in the spot you were at when you drafted him. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. I was gonna say I would if you're playing for that angle at all, I would not have Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams on the same team because
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Wilson is going to take a massive hit
Oh
in,
yeah,
in that situation. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think either one of us are super high on Garrett Wilson going first round anyway. But
I hate it, dude.
yeah,
I hate it. But who else am I gonna pick over him?
right.
Drake London, psych.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. There's a couple things. Did you happen to? I just saw reports that Rico Dowdle looks good in practice. I've been very in on Zeke, very out on Rico Dowdle because I didn't think he was good at football. But if we get some word that he's good at football, seems like he's not a bad value for a possible 1B situation.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a lot of goal line opportunities for Dallas Cowboys running back, and I think Tony Pollard is not good at football. I think that was proven
What?
last year.
I think he's really good at football.
Well,
He's really good.
you must be a Memphis fan.
How much Tony Pollard do I have? 17%.
Go
Yeah,
Titans.
we got bags. Go Titans, dude.
Hey, they got into a fight at practice yesterday.
They what?
They got into a fight at practice yesterday.
The Titans?
Yeah, they're Jeffrey Simmons, probably the best defensive lineman, and their first round pick J.C. Latham, is the offensive lineman. They had some sort of scuffle.
Love the fire.
And then
mostly into
Simmons
firing
was
these
like
guys.
going after like a radio host. It was a whole thing. Yeah.
I saw there was a fight in Steelers practice too.
Okay.
Big brawl, dude. Justin Fields talking shit to Russell Wilson. Just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's what we need.
He said, I can
Yeah.
make that,
Fire
bro.
fire me up with all those stories so I can get even more.
I wanted to make Justin Fields a cover boy today since he's on the list of risers. He's up a few spots,
Oh, is he?
4 spots to
Okay.
208. Not that significant, but I'm going to save it for next week or the week after because Justin Fields, when we get that tweet that Justin Fields was named the week 1 starter, dude, oh man, I am
Yeah.
going to be very happy.
We're going to the moon.
Dude, we're going to the actual moon. So Nick Chubb failure. I could add on some Nick Chubb. Don't mind taking Nick Chubb
Oh
132.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Really like Josh Downs this year, trying to get this 13% up. Gabe Davis is the ultimate. It's like the epitome of a best ball play.
Hmm.
Why is he going at 133 still?
He's going to give you at least one, maybe 2 weeks where he scores 37. So
I mean, if he has 1 week where he scores 37, I will take that.
yeah.
I think he's my highest owned receiver in weekly winners too. It makes no sense that he goes even later over there.
Hmm.
Gabe Davis, Josh Downs. I'm pretty high on Josh Downs. Adonai Mitchell. I thought he flipped Adonai Mitchell in ADP though, but maybe that was on the other site.
Yeah.
We got reports Adonai Mitchell is competing with Alec Pierce for his starting spot, so it's not great.
No, that is not good at all. Did he go to Texas? I'm imagining that.
I don't know.
Hmm.
You're the college football 25 guy. You tell
Right.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what about the that's something we haven't talked about. Oh yeah, he did go to Texas. Um we didn't talk about the college football drafts that Underdog's got now. What about
Oh right. No, actually, I guess we're doing college football tonight, and I'm like, I guess we're probably not.
yeah,
But
that, yeah.
I
Uh,
looked I looked at the rankings, and I mentioned this before. I don't follow college football. I don't recognize a single player on the rankings. But if you do follow, or is this the one you're talking about, or
yeah.
the full season one?
Yeah. And I mean it's like it's been up maybe 2 weeks and it's almost filled. Like
It's pretty great.
people are doing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's I understand that there's something a little bit unique about maybe the playoff schedule and the way that the 'cause what is it? Just Superflex
Hmm.
QB. Yeah. So I feel like this is definitely an unstudied format. If you're familiar with college football, you probably have a pretty good edge if you
Right.
dive into the format a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you fired any?
No, and I actually I wonder if I can because I we Tennessee is one of those weird states where
Um,
I cannot play college DFS. Now I used to all the time when I lived in Georgia, but um, I can't like on DraftKings or FanDuel, so I have not even tried, but I wonder if I can. But yeah, I feel like the real just like spitballing, the real edge would be your like Sunbelt offenses that are like going to score 35 points a game, and it's like nobody is probably even thinking like that. Like you're just, I would imagine that the drafting based off ADP is just out of control on this, right? Because
yeah.
the average person just does, I mean, they have no idea. Like
I
you
mean,
might recognize three or four of these guys' names, and that's it.
yeah, I was gonna say even like an above average drafter. This is probably the sport that has the least information available.
Hmm.
All of the rest of these sports are professionals that we have some
Yeah,
data on, at least college stats.
right.
Here, we might not. We might have high school stats, but like you can throw those out the window.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this. It's Tennessee's quarterback is going in the first round, and he's um, going to be opening week, he'll be starting his second game of his career because he was a true freshman last year. So
So he's a fade.
I mean, he was the number one quarterback in the class 2 years ago, but I don't know. That's seems a little overzealous.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know anything about college football, but I'm a little like these seem a little low. The Colorado players, ADPs,
Mm-hmm.
Shader, Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone else, just those two, I guess. But
that's
like, he's not going higher just on name value alone.
right.
And then Shader runs, doesn't he? Is he
Mm-hmm.
just not good? Are they not good at football, dude?
I don't know. I think everybody wants him to be.
Like as a team,
Yeah.
they're. I mean, I don't know if it's as fun to root for him this year because it's like it's fun to root for the new cocky kid, but they don't win anything. They're still cocky
Yeah.
after a couple of
Yeah.
years. It's not as fun to root
Right.
for him.
Yeah. When they go 4-8, it's a little awkward.
Oh, there is. Um, there's another guy in here, Blake Corum,
Mm-hmm.
ADP 120. I don't know his ADP is. He does go around here. He went 129 in this draft. He's a guy who I have not drafted at all. Are you interested in talking me into him?
No, I'm about to the same exact boat. So
Okay.
it's weird. I mean, nice transition from our college conversation. The big hero for the national champions last year. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of right there with you. I don't know that I have him on one team, so I'm
I,
probably not the guy.
I know I have a couple shares just because if he falls like 12 spots past ADP, I will take him since I'm
Mhm.
not taking him under any other circumstance. And I have a lot of Kyron too.
Right.
But so can't take Deshaun. I saw someone say this idea. So, first of all, am I going for 5 or 6 running backs on this team?
I think you really only need five. I mean, you got four starters there.
What about Jalen Wright? If I take Jalen Wright, am I good at 5?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to stop at 5. I took Jalen Wright because I have a perfect playoff correlation
Yeah.
with him. So this is one of the points that I was talking about with Brian yesterday, where I took a 6 running back I probably didn't need to, and that's probably my biggest leak, where
Hmm.
I care a little bit too much about my running back depth.
Yeah. Yeah. I've even been trying to get into some fours. Like what are the cool kids calling it these days? Robust RB. Is
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
terminology of like getting something like we talked about earlier, like with CMC and Kyron, doing something like that, and then only taking four running backs and have like 10 receivers. I've been playing around with that a little bit.
yeah. Wait till you see some of my weekly winners teams because I'm going hard on running backs, and it looks like it's too much, but the data I've seen really favors running backs in that
Oh,
format.
really? Okay.
Like I'll have 4 running backs before pick 100, and then sometimes I'll still have 6 running backs by the end.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but well, I'm usually taking one less quarterback too, so I have an extra roster spot kind of.
Yeah.
Um, don't want to miss this question from John in the chat. 100% agree on not taking Garrett Wilson with Adams in a potential trade. I couldn't disagree more on fading Garrett Wilson. His targets were out of control his first 2 years, but the three of us could have thrown him the ball as good as the Jets QB. Well, I could have. I have a cannon. Don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, he's got a point there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not wrong at all. No Adams trade and held assumed. Garrett Wilson should be good for 15 and 10. I'll take the under on both. I'm not doubting Garrett Wilson's talent. I guess I'm just doubting the Jets. Sorry. um, yeah, those are pretty spicy stat lines. I'm curious what the season long lines are on that. Let's see if Underdog has them
Oh,
up.
Underdog will have those, right?
Yeah. Garrett Wilson, 12.25, 7.5.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll definitely take the unders on the numbers that John just threw out, but
7.5. That's
yeah, 7.5 seems pretty
that's
okay.
low.
We're not even getting the full 1x though. That's why.
Yeah.
Only a 0.9. 12.25. I mean, what was this? How many yards did he have last year? How many touchdowns do you think Garrett Wilson had last year? Unless you know.
I definitely don't know that. I'm gonna say 6.
Okay, my guess is 2. It's probably between 2 and 6.
4
3.
sounds
He had
right.
3. He has 7 career. He had 3 last year.
I
Uh,
I thought it got better towards the end in the couple games they played a lot from behind and scored some points, but I guess no. I know that was like a meme through the season that
mhm.
he was just never getting in the end zone.
We got our own Occupy Zone Chris in the chat. Wilson
Oh
line is 11.25 on one of the other sites. I'll take the I'll take the over that for sure. I mean,
yeah,
if he put up 1,000 yards without Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I know that some like injury risk is baked into that, but I'll definitely take the over on 11.25. Yeah,
right.
and then John, he was 4-2. Do you know what that means?
4-2. Is that record?
Who was 4-2? Garrett Wilson? No, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson didn't win 4 games, did he?
4-2 sounds like a skins golf line.
Oh, 4-3. Yeah, yeah. So I
Hey man,
mean, I'll take the over 3 touchdowns. He'll score more touchdowns than he did last year.
yeah, absolutely.
I have no doubt about that. Would you go? Actually, I know what I'm doing at. Yep. All right. We have this team planned out. Boom. DJ Shark is moving up, and it's pretty upsetting because I was taking him in the last round so much, and now, like, I had to stop taking him in the last round because I had so much.
Yeah,
All right, and then we get 2 more picks after this.
I missed that you took Mario Douglas. That's nice. That's one of our favorite guys.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when he falls a little bit past ADP, I try to scoop him up because I'm a little sad I didn't take more when he was at like pick 180.
Mm-hmm.
151. Am I going for 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends? I guess we'll do 3 tight ends.
Oh, you got Kittle.
Yeah, I like ran out of time. I didn't want to do that, but
I know you're
one.
big on likely.
Yeah, it's like I am big. Someone kind of talked me off of him a little bit. Well, I asked this question to Brian yesterday. I'll ask you. Um, if Mark Andrews was not on the Ravens, where would you place likely in the tight end rankings?
Maybe let's see. Looking at this right here, probably I would probably put him ahead of Ingram and Ferguson.
Okay. Okay. I think that's what Brian said too, Evan Ingram range.
Yeah.
I had him a little bit lower around the Dallas Goddard range in that Dallas Goddard tier.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. So he scored a touchdown in every game
Right.
when what's his name was out. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that's true because I mix up a lot of stats on the show. But either way, like the point is, he ran really hot. Like he played well, but he had really good touchdown variance.
Yes.
Um, Let me see, and then I have a perfect plan for these last 2 picks. Really hope it comes true. Am I kind of weak at receiver? You think I could have went 9 receivers instead of 3 tight ends? I mean, I
I
still
don't.
could.
I think you may be weak in like name value, but when you start to like actually look at it, you've got a lot of guys late that are really capable of extreme ceiling games. And I mean, there's a world in which Reed, Samuel, Shaheed, Douglas are all wide receiver ones for their respective teams, and you're not even banking on that being the case, and you're still okay. So yeah, I don't. I think you're fine.
I like the way you worded that. Thank you.
Hey
Make
man,
me feel
anytime.
better.
Yeah, just let me hype you
um,
up.
Appreciate you. And then next time you want to draft 6 guys from the same team, dude,
Right?
I got
Yeah,
your back.
yeah. Hey, you had me that first time, so
Yeah, yeah. In case there's anyone in here who didn't see a few streams ago, Derek drafted 6 Houston players on one team.
we got every last one of them.
Yeah, so uh, it's gonna be fun to watch it advance.
They're going to like the first their first touchdown of the season is going to be like a screen to the left guard, and I'm just going to turn off red zone and leave the house.
Yep. Or Noah Brown. You didn't get Noah Brown there, right?
No, no, I did not.
That's receiver who no one's talking about for possible
Hmm.
wide receiver one on Houston.
Yeah, and he's been decent. Like I think he's just kind of a product of the so many elites.
I've been taking him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like probably zero standalone value, but I mean, obviously someone has to go down for him to get there. That's what happened last year, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean that's happened before. A situation where every Texans wide receiver gets hurt. Seems like that's happened recently.
I think he had 2 games in a row with 20 plus half PPR points. Noah Brown
Oh, really?
last season. Yeah, I think he had 3 really good. Like one of them was like maybe it was wide receiver 1 on the week or wide receiver 2 on the week, but he had 2 blow up games, and I think he had one other week that you'd be very happy to have
Hmm.
in your flex maybe.
Yeah.
Justin Fields up to 207. I don't think this is a type of team you take Justin Fields on. This is a type of team you take Derek Carr on.
Yes. You don't need the
Man.
huge playoff ceiling because you're hoping that's coming from Allen.
Yeah, like you take Justin Fields on teams like I drafted yesterday that have no ceiling at quarterback, and we got our guys. I don't think anyone in here is watching the stream anyway, but
It's
Derek Carr and Juwan Johnson double tap, dude, to close it out. Feels pretty
with
good.
with Shaheed.
Oh my gosh, I'm a dummy. I can't even do it. They have the same bye week as Josh Allen. I planned this for
Uh,
3 rounds and I messed it all up, dude.
oh no.
All right, well, I hate doing this, but Drake May or Bo Nix, Drake May or Bo Nix, Drake May.
I've
Well,
done I've done the same thing with the Week 17 Panthers Bucks game, and then got to the point of I was in the same boat as you and realized they have the same bye week and my own. I mean, I was screwed at that point. There's no I did it. So my only 2 quarterbacks are Bryce Young and Baker. And week 11, I'm getting 0 for QB. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. I've had other teams where I do that on accident, and then you have to take. I think you have to take a third quarterback because even if it's one of these guys, like Derek Carr has a bad game, 9 points, like you're guaranteed to get 9 points, right? Assuming he's healthy.
right.
But strongly prefer Derek Carr to Drake May. I guess Drake May probably has a higher ceiling because it's like we don't know. He could just be Derek Carr.
Yeah.
But that was kind of lucky. We still had him stacked. What I didn't like was that I have my QBs playing each other in week 16.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I don't care, but this time I care a little bit because this team isn't all dependent on the Bills. Like Josh Allen could have a bad game, this team could still advance. But if Josh Allen has a bad game, does that mean Drake May has less
Um,
opportunity?
there's a world in which Buffalo wins by a blowout and neither one of them get there. I guess is the
Yeah. Yeah. So it's something I try not to do, but I'd rather have this than get no quarterback points in week 12, I guess. So
right.
could have went Justin Fields. I don't know. If it was 2 weeks in the future and we got news Justin Fields was starting, then yeah, I'd be taking Justin Fields every draft.
I don't know that I haven't seen Fields going ahead of Wilson. Did that just happen?
In terms of ADP, I'm not sure, but I see it a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say I see.
I mean, I
Justin Fields get
wouldn't.
drafted
I
earlier.
haven't drafted Wilson at all, but
I
um,
have 1%.
you um,
Yeah.
hey, Chris has some breaking news for us. We can break on the stream here. He's really excited. Aaron Wilson tweeted that Dolphins signed wide receiver Willie Snead.
Dude, Willie Snead, that guy. I've drafted Willie Snead. Not this year, obviously, but
Before,
in
yeah,
life, I've drafted Willie Snead. I like him.
we were
Willie
just talking.
Snead.
We were just talking about the Saints.
Was he on the Saints? I remember him from the Ravens. I don't even remember him on the Saints.
Yeah, was he not?
Willie Snead is a preseason play, not a best ball play. I don't know who's he's getting on the field over OBJ, right?
I mean, You and me probably should, but for another day.
Well, we got stream number 2 on the new channel. I believe number 35. I might have gotten the description wrong. This might be draft 36. Either way, we're in there. We have a little over a month until the NFL season starts. We're going to be here a lot over the next month, so keep your notifications on. Tell your friends that we have a giveaway for the first 500 subscribers. So go ahead and subscribe. We're going to ask that you leave a comment, and we'd appreciate if you like the channel as well. It really helps us out. In case you made it to the end of the video and you have not signed up for Underdog yet, they will match your first deposit up to $250. Just use the promo code Occupy2. That's Occupy and the number 2, and gives you a free 10 free BBMs or whatever you want to do with it. Derek, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, man. I like your team. I think we did some things different. These are exactly the kind of builds that you want to have on July 31st, because tomorrow is when the home stretch begins.
The home stretch begins, and we're all going to lock ourselves in our rooms and draft. We're just going to draft.
Yeah.
So.
I love that you named your team from yesterday dead.
It just doesn't feel good, man. Like, I mean, my receivers are good. My running backs aren't bad. I took one too many. Quarterbacks are not good. There is a ceiling case, I guess, for these guys, sure.
Yeah.
And this is just what's happening here. 5 tight end points a week. It's not going to cut it.
Zach Ertz he's gonna be the guy.
Imagine. I wouldn't mind. But I like this team a lot better, even though I'm a little bit weaker at wide receiver. It just feels a lot better. So thanks for helping me put it together, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
So we'll let you guys know when our next stream is. Look out for the notifications. Join Discord. Instructions in the description. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.